It was dead on. It feels like she was working with us for months, getting ready for the presentation, so it was really good.
You cannot grow up with 80 million cohorts and not feel competitive.
Nostalgic. No, I loved it. It was great. It was fantastic.
This is a generation that is going to question every single thing that you say and everything that you do.
It's really great. Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it.
I want to welcome Kim Lear to the stage.
So when I was 14 years old, my dad gave me the book When Generations Collide. And I read it, and it changed things for me. It changed the way that I looked at the world. And I knew that this is what I wanted to study. This is what I wanted to devote my career to, was this subject and this company. The problem when we even begin to talk about generations is we start to stereotype negatively. It's always who's right and who's wrong and who's better and who's worse and who came first and who knew it all along and all of that. When in reality, what we find is that the companies and the groups that can really harmonize that relationship and come together in a really synergistic way are always the most successful. What excites me about this topic is that it's relevant and it's real. The impact that technology, that world events, that globalization, all of these things have affected who we are when we walk through the door at work. But also just in general, it's a very flat world for us. There's a lot more diversity, globally minded, rapid change, a lot of things that resulted in traits that very clearly can be translated into the workplace. I became an expert in this field to help companies and to help organizations bridge these gaps and work more efficiently and more effectively and bring all of these diverse ideas to the table, because that is when we see innovation happen. And something that is really important for millennials to be hearing is that these other generations, they've seen it all. They've done it all. They've made the mistakes that we're probably going to make. And there's so much to be learned from those other generations. And that legacy is actually a place where we see a lot of collisions happening with millennials, because we see that 82 million number, and it feels like it's going to be then out with the old, in with the new mentality. And what we see a lot of companies doing is they'll look up at that org chart and they'll see the places where people are leaving or people are retiring, and they're scrambling and working on getting new talent into those spots. And what happens in the meantime is succession planning and knowledge transfer take a back seat. It's not really about the change. That is inevitable. That has to happen to still be relevant in this changing world. But sometimes it's how that change is positioned. When we talk to traditionalists, who oftentimes are the CEOs of companies, the CFOs, when we ask them, this younger person came to you with a great idea and how come it never got implemented, it can be pinpointed to this moment here, when they come in and they want to start a revolution. What's so awesome about what we deliver is that it's fun, it's educational, it is actionable, but it's also, you're sitting there and you're enjoying it. There's multimedia components, there is some humor, there's some tactics, all these different things that keep you on the edge of your seat and make you really think about this in a tangible, relevant way. So you can see that already we are stereotyping. And it's not just millennials or Gen Xers, this goes on all the time. We work with some market research firms to look at how generations are depicted in the media. And we're going to start with traditionalists, okay? The greatest generation, this wonderful generation, and across the board, this is what the media thought that they were doing. Sitting on porches, like everywhere. They were sitting on porches, like waiting for their next dose of Metamucil or something, I'm not sure. Every industry and every company is unique, and they feel these collisions and clashes at different points. And so there is no canned speech. We go back to the drawing board every time to think, what does this company need? What will resonate with this audience? And it was really nice to see so many of you utilizing some great social media. We have the Racine County Economic Development Corporation has a really good Facebook presence. We've got Johnson Bank on Twitter. We've got Home Instead Senior Care also on Facebook. And this is it's great to see this. I had a great conversation with Barb Halverson about some of these senior living communities, and she was telling me about some of the community events in the senior living centers and the importance of socializing. She said that managers in these buildings make a serious effort to know the residents, to socialize with them, know about their families, and that is just such a key way to bring these people in and how to retain them. My favorite part of the job is actually talking to the people in the organizations and hearing their stories about the collisions that they're facing. And the daughter goes, well, Dad, Jonah knows that the tooth fairy is not real. And David's like, he's 6. He doesn't know up from down. He doesn't know anything. How would he know this? And she goes, well, Dad, he Googled it. And so where does this come from, this want and need to push back and ask questions at a very young age? And let's think about it. We have been chiming in with Mom and Dad from a very young age. If I missed curfew in high school, which was rare.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Almost never. But if I did, I would come home, and then my parents were like, okay, let's all sit at the kitchen table together, okay? And then it was like, what do you think your punishment should be? It's easy with this topic to become really theoretical or philosophical, and we have that academic side as the basis for our research, but when we get into the organization, it's all about what you can do tomorrow to make a difference in your organization.
I was really impressed. For one thing, Kim is a great presenter and a great speaker in front of the group. She handles herself really well in the group, and it was so interesting. Loved the advertising clips.
She was fun, she was engaging, and I really liked it. It was informative.